What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So what a day it was. What a bounce back day it was in the stock market today. We had the S&P 500 up over 1%. The Dow went up 0.7%. We had the NASDAQ 100 up 1.3%. And the Russell 2000 ended up going up 1.8% on the day. And today we're going to be talking about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over my thoughts overall on the markets. So if you all find value, hit the like button, subscribe, check out all the free resources down below, and you can get $30 and $10 from M1 and Coinbase respectively. And you could also check out my Patreon. All of those are linked down below. So let's just get into it, guys. Today was a crazy day. SPY went up over 1%. In fact, we hit an all-time high. The S&P hit that at, let's take a look at the index very quickly, at 4194.17. So almost 4,200 points on SPX here was hit today, and that was right before the market closed. Well, it was more like 30 minutes before the market closed, but still, it rallied all day, hit that high, and then we saw the pullback. We probably got some profit taking and so forth, but overall, it was an up day. It was a bullish day, and we hit all-time highs. And back to SPY. Let's pull up SPY again. You can see here on the 10-day, 30-minute chart, and I did not point this out yesterday, and this goes to show, guys, quick little side tangent. When you have a bunch of trend lines on your chart, a bunch of old analysis, and even if you're using that analysis, sometimes it's great to just clear the drawing set and start from ground zero, or just redraw the lines, because you can see different patterns forming, and you can see things differently. And when I did that on SPY, I pulled up the 10-day, 30-minute. This is what I saw based on today's price action, and I'm seeing an ascending triangle, right? We're making higher lows into the resistance at 416.50, 417. In fact, we broke that resistance. The ascending triangle is playing out, and the bulls are just gaining a lot of momentum now that we're breaking out. And mind you, guys, we've been seeing resistance at this point, 416, 417, for about a week at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days, and today was the 6th where we broke out of it. So this is very bullish in my opinion, and this price action, I know it sounds crazy, but in the very short term, this could lead us maybe to 420 on SPY, maybe 422 or something like that. You know, there could be more upside in this thing right now, and pulling up this 4-hour chart, you can see it as well. You know, who's to say this doesn't completely break out and see a new high at 425, 424, even high 420s. I mean, that would be a stretch, maybe you could argue, but I think a breakout is in store at this point in the very short term based on what we're seeing now. And this could very well change. You know, we could wake up Monday morning and it's a complete bloodbath and everything I just said went out the window. But if we gap up on Monday, we continue this rally, I would not be surprised. I really would not be surprised. And pulling up QQQ very quickly, let's see what's going on this one. And this, by the way, tracks the NASDAQ 100. You can see on the hourly chart, and this is a perfect example. Look at all this stuff here. Let me clear this drawing set and see what the heck's going on. So with today's price action, and we've been seeing this the past couple of days, but today's price action really confirmed it. We held 335, 336, right? We held it like a rock all after hours yesterday and pre-market today. And if you look on the intraday chart, what happened once the market opened? We skyrocketed, right? We went all the way to 338 or 337, and then we climbed up the rest of the day all the way to 340, and then we saw that drop off into the close, some profit taking, whatever you want to call it. And coming back to the hourly chart, notice how we're also seeing, well, this is not an ascending triangle because we're not breaking out quite yet, and overall the way it's set up is not an ascending triangle. In fact, it's a descending triangle, right? We're making lower highs into the support of about 336, and we're almost at the breakout spot, which is going to be right here. If I zoom in, you guys can see it. This spot right here is the breakout spot, right around 340, and that's what I'm watching next week. You know, if we break that, watch out for a move, QQQ, up to 342.60. If 342.60 breaks, we're probably going to see that leg up. I know it sounds crazy, but we might see more green if 342.60 breaks. So overall, guys, very strong day. SPY out of all these, out of QQQ and SPY. SPY's looking more bullish. QQQ is almost there. It's still looking pretty decent based on today, QQQ, but it needs to break 340. And speaking of the Dow Jones, very quickly, I don't really talk about it that much today, or these days rather. We can see overall, this one's almost at an all-time high as well. And you can see on the hourly chart on the Dow, we're at a resistance point at about 34,100, so that must break. And pulling up the Russell, what's the Russell looking like today? We went up almost 2%. We didn't hit an all-time high. In fact, the Russell's been struggling, and you guys can see we're in a wedge on the Russell, and a resistance point coming up. It's at about 22.85. So I think if that could break 22.85, maybe we get a fill up to about 23.60. That's the point of resistance, the all-time high back from the middle of March. So overall, guys, we're looking very, very bullish. The VIX is dying down, of course. VIX is down 7%, and gold went down a bit today, and silver. It looks like people might have dumped out of that, got back into the S&P, the stock markets, whatever, individual stocks even. So what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to know as always. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like content like this every single day, feel free to subscribe. We're doing this stuff every day at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the most part. Around that time is when we're making these daily videos, so feel free to subscribe, and you might as well hit that like button as well if you all are enjoying the video. So let's talk about some stocks now, and let me quickly move my face. You guys can see all of my stocks pretty much were green today. Well, not all of them. I mean, you can see at the bottom of the list here, we had Colgate, Palmolive, Beyond Meat, Barrick Gold, Netflix, and Coinbase. Those were red. But other than those, we had gains of GameStop as low as 0.01%, which is barely green, all the way up to Arrival, which went up almost 14% today. Shout out to Arrival, by the way. And this is not on the list for the video today, but this one's finally turning around, it seems like, although it is still in a downtrend. Don't get that twisted, guys. But it's still turning around, and that is a good sign. And we'll see overall if it's able to take out this low point. I'd say if Arrival could take out the low point from early March at about $17.85, $18, that could be the turnaround spot. And we'll see next week. That's probably going to test here on Arrival. But yeah, this was not on the list for today, but I guess you got a little insight there on Arrival anyway. So stock number one that is on the list for today is AMAT, AMAT, also known as Applied Materials, and this is one that we called out a couple days ago. It didn't really break out quite yet, but it's gotten a bit further in the breakout process, let's put it that way, since we last filmed and talked about AMAT. And I really like this stock, technically speaking, right? Today we went up 2.4%. I love how the overall uptrend on the 4 hours holding. We've mentioned this before, right? And zooming in on the 10-day chart, you can see this is very bullish. Today we squeezed out of the 50 and the 180 moving averages here on this time frame, and overall the wedge is breaking out. This is an initial sign of the overall breakout, and I'm actually going to set my alert. It was at 137. I'm going to bring it down a bit. Let's put it at 136. If 136 could break on Monday, Tuesday, whatever day next week, doesn't matter as long as it does. If it does, we're going to be able to see, in my opinion, a move up to the 140s on this stock, right? That's going to be key. And mind you, today we failed at 135. Yesterday we did the same thing, and the day before. So 3 days in a row where we've seen some nice price action. Bulls have gotten some control, but we haven't fully broken out yet. The bulls, that is, right? So that's why the alert's at 136. If that breaks, watch out for a move above. And going back to that 4-hour chart, you can see it on a larger perspective. There's even more upside, not even a 140. I think ultimately this could get back to the mid 140s. So I like Applied Materials here. AMAT is the ticker, and they probably do have earnings coming up. Last time they reported, actually probably not. That was too, well, Yeah, they should in a couple of weeks here. Last time they reported was the 18th of February, so probably May, mid-May, end of May, they should be reporting, and I'll double-check that for next time we talk about them to see exactly what date they are set to report. And shout out to Skills, guys. SKLZ, this went up 10% today, up over $1.60, and this is on the back of yesterday's performance, which was, well, actually it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before that. It was ludicrous. The stock went from 12 to 17. And yes, yesterday it did do well as well. It ran up pre-market. You guys can see it went from $17.50 to $20, sold off all day after that pre-market rally. And I'm loving the way this is not dumping off further, because listen, guys, if we were to see a dump today of the magnitude of the dump from yesterday, and we broke the low from yesterday, that would have been key. I mean, that would not be good. That would not be good for the bulls, and I probably would have exited my position if that were the case. And you guys, if you didn't know, I've been buying Skills. I bought at $16. I bought at $14, and you guys in Patreon know, as you all get my real-time buy and sell alerts. And I didn't lock in any profits either. I'm just holding on to my shares at this point. And yeah, I love the way we held the low from yesterday. In fact, it was a higher low. Yesterday, the low was at 16. Today's low is at 1670, and we closed on a very nice upswing, and we broke the highs from pre-market today and aftermarket yesterday. So these are good signs. These are that are lining up. Let's put it that way. Good signs are lining up here for another shot at $20 per share. So I'm holding on to Skills still, and I believe they got upgraded by somebody today. Yeah, Jeffrey starts Skills at a hold with a $17 price target, and that's not necessarily an upgrade because they're initiating coverage. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. And ARK Invest, you know, Kathy Wood, although I don't piggyback her plays, she's been buying Skills, and we tend to agree with the Skills position. And let me tell you guys, I know a lot of people follow Kathy Wood, and no shade to her whatsoever, but if you're just blindly buying Kathy Wood's plays, that's not the way to go about it, guys. You have to understand companies for yourself, and that's just for anybody, not just Kathy Wood, not, you know, any guy on YouTube or Warren Buffett. I mean, you can't follow any of these guys, right? You have to understand, and obviously you can follow them and listen to them, or else I wouldn't get any views on YouTube, because you guys obviously listen to me and other people as well, right, that are way better than me. I'm not even saying I'm anything special, but, you know, you got to understand things on your own. You really have to understand things on your own and not buy things, stocks that is, ETFs, indexes, whatever, just because somebody else is doing it, right? That's just not the best way to go about it. And there's a saying, you guys know the saying, teach a man to fish, he could feed for his whole life. Or you guys know the saying. We're not going to get into that now, but yeah, don't just piggyback on people's plays. That's the moral of the story here. And I like Skills. I think there's going to be more upside. And once 20 breaks, if it's able to break, which my gut's telling me it is, and we're not trading simply on our gut here. We trade based on technicals. So the technicals kind of back up my gut feeling, which is also nice, or rather, which is the way to go about it, right? Don't just go off your gut. You have to have things that back up your feelings, right? And the technicals are in this case. So I like Skills. Tattooed Chef's another one that I've been buying. I bought a little bit more this week. Tattooed Chef went up 5%, up up to $17.50. And this one's on the breakout or the verge of a breakout as well after a pretty decent, actually I don't want to say a pretty decent week, because on the week it seems like it's still down, considering we were at $18 earlier in the week. Now we're at $17.50. But I really like how Tattooed Chef was able to recover this week. We got down to $15.50, and now we ended up going all the way back up to $17.50, about to test that 50 moving average and the overall resistance of the wedge here. So I believe if Tattooed Chef could break, let's say $17.70, $18, there's going to be a nice rally to probably close to $20, right around this 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart. And mind you, if it does that, we're still going to be downtrending. This 180 needs to break. And honestly, Tattooed Chef has to get out of 20 bucks. That is the key mental, I don't even want to call it a mental break or mental resistance here. It's just a key spot. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like a psychological barrier for the stock, 20 bucks. So if that's able to break, I think there's going to be some upside out of that. So watch out for Tattooed Chef. Splunk is another one I'm looking at here. I've been getting some questions on this stock, SPLK, and we've covered this in the past couple of months, and honestly, nothing much has changed over the past couple of months. I mean, it's still in a downtrending channel. We actually just hit a low about a little less than a month ago. We hit a lower low in the downtrend at about 130 bucks. And by the looks of it, guys, 130, we're hanging on by a thread. Splunk's hanging on by a thread. And if that breaks, and by the looks of it today, we went down almost 1.5% on a green day. By the looks of it, this wants to go under 130. And I think there could be a little bit more pain in store if 130 is breaking, if it breaks, right? And by the looks of it, like I said, with today's failure of breaking out of the mid 130s, and this looks like a descending triangle as well. I mean, I think 130, there's a likelihood it does end up breaking, and we end up seeing a move into the lower hundreds, maybe 115, 120, 125, and you have to ask yourself, right? What is your style? What do you like to look at when you're going to buy a stock? Are you looking for a stock that's uptrending, and if you see a stock that's downtrending, it's completely off the table, you're not going to buy it? Or do you look for stocks that are down 50%, they're downtrending, and you're willing to hold through some pain? You don't care if it's in a downtrend. You have to ask yourself that. And of course, if you believe in the company, if you want to hold it as a trade or a long-term investment, or if you're looking at it as a trade, these are all things you have to ask yourself. And for me, as a trade, and by the way, I'm not looking at Splunk as a long-term investment. Quite frankly, I haven't done the thorough research to consider it as a long-term investment. But looking at it as a trade here, I'm personally not the biggest fan, I'll be honest, because like I said, there could be some more downside here. And sure, if you're looking to pick up on this weakness and maybe you have a year horizon, couple months horizon, that might be worth the risk. But for me, the way I'm looking at it, my style, my time horizon, and again, I'm not some multimillionaire that has millions of dollars to throw at every stock out there. You know, I'm looking at this as a pass for me. But overall, look, if it's able to get out of the moving averages, the 50 and the 180, if it's able to break this downtrend that has been in for months, there could be some upside to the mid to high 100s, but we're just not seeing it quite yet. And again, there could be a dump off by the way I'm looking at the chart. So what do you think? What do you think about Splunk? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments down below. IDEX is another one, ticker symbol IDEX, and this chart literally reminds me exactly of Neo's chart. And I think Neo's more on the verge of breaking out. But look, it's pretty much the same descending triangle. You guys can see Neo is breaking out as of now. Neo went up 4%. But IDEX, going back to that one, it went up 3% today. And it's not quite there yet when it comes to the breakout, right? We need to break out still above the 180 moving average. We did break the 50 moving average today, but we're not quite yet above the 180. And the 180 is sitting at about 290 to 295. So if that could break next week, maybe we get some upside in this. But until then, I'm going to be cautious because we already saw the dump off earlier this week to the low twos, and the last thing I want to do is buy IDEX here at 275, 280, hoping it breaks out, to then be trapped in the stock as it dumps off and takes the lows out from 2 days ago. You know, that's the worst case scenario. I would not want that to happen. So for me, I would not be rushing this one. I'd put an alert at 295, $3, and be pretty strict with that. You know, I'd be pretty firm with that alert, and I would not enter unless we were to break these levels. So IDEX, it's in a descending triangle. We need to break $3, guys. We need to break $3. Two more stocks for today, guys. The first one is Fastly, FSLY, and this one is also, what's up with these descending triangles today, guys? And this one's another descending triangle. Look at this. We got support at about $64, $65, and we're actually breaking the resistance of this descending triangle. This is great. We're breaking the 50, the 180 moving averages. We're breaking the overall resistance of the descending triangle, like I just said. And now I think Fastly, guys, it's going to go up to about, look at this high from all the way back in the middle towards the beginning of March. That high's at about $77. Now we're trading at $68. So I think Fastly in the short term, now that we're breaking out, $75, $77, $80, that is in the cards. That is what I'm seeing personally. And look at this on the intraday chart. What the heck is going on here, guys? Hold on a second. Why is Fastly up $70 to $75 after market hours? What the heck's going on? I have no idea what that is. Wow, okay, it's probably a Datadog and Fastly spiked higher after the companies announced the integration is allowed to visualize and analyze an alert on Fastly's metrics and logs. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. I gotta look into that and dive deeper into that after this video, but that is a positive catalyst. Wow, I was not planning on this today, guys, to see such a big move after hours, but hey, you got my live reaction. This is amazing. So that is why Fastly is breaking out. So when the market closed, it was still under the descending triangle. So this is fresh. This is fresh price action here. We're breaking out after hours. This is very good heading into Monday. So everything I said stands. I think Fastly now could easily go to 75, 78. If 78 breaks, 75 breaks, we might be going 80. $80 was that low from earlier in January. So this is bullish. I'm bullish Fastly, technically speaking, guys. I'm very excited about this breakout right now. This is one for sure that you should be adding to your watch list. And notice how I said add to your watch list and not buy, because I'm not telling you to buy stocks. I cringe every time when I see YouTubers, and a lot of these YouTubers, not to call them out, but, and I'm not going to say names, I mean, that's not my style, but in general, some YouTubers, guys, they tell you, buy this stock. They literally tell you that. And I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? But anyway, I can't control everybody. Obviously, I can only control myself and my actions, but hey, we're going to keep sticking to the content that you love here on the channel, and that is why you all should subscribe. And the last one here is Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, which, what do you know, we're seeing another descending triangle, and we're right at the resistance right now. If you all can see this, right at about $23. We actually broke the 50 moving average today, and we are about to test the 180 moving average and the overall downtrend of this descending triangle probably next week, anywhere from $24 to about, I'd say, $25. There's still going to be some volatility, some headway there, I'd say. But if Palantir could take that high out, $25, and that was the high from middle of April, a couple days ago, more like 10 days ago, and if it could break $26, the high from earlier in the middle of March, then it's going to be off to the races. Who knows? This stock could be $30 again. And let me look at this, or let me show you this rather. Look at that. $30. That was the high from end of March, or end of February rather, right? $27.50 was that high from middle of March, so it was a little bit higher than 26. So $27.50 was that high. These are the targets in the short term if we're able to break the descending triangle. So watch out for that on Palantir. Fastly's looking crazy right now. And of course, all the other ones we mentioned in this video as well. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, subscribe. That's greatly appreciated. And drop a comment down below. Doing all those things are free and it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And again, it's greatly appreciated. And you could also check out the free Discord chat, the Facebook group. You could get $30 from M1 Finance by simply depositing $100. All of those are linked down below. Same with the Coinbase link. You can get $10 from Coinbase, and my Patreon's linked right down below if you want buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update videos, and if you want more access to me throughout the day, that is on Patreon. So yeah, guys, thanks again for tuning in. And oh, by the way, if you want 5 more stocks, I have a 5 oversold stocks video I made earlier today, and we didn't mention any of those stocks in this video, so make sure to go check that out. I'll link it down below and I'll pin it up right here, so go check that out. I'll see you all there. Thanks again for watching. As always, stay safe out there, keep crushing the markets, guys. See you in that video.